Hello and good morning. I wanted to do a video today about what I'm calling ultralight backpacking's dirty little secret. And to give it all away, the dirty little secret is that ultralight backpacking is thought to be, well, the secret is ultralight backpacking is a lot less expensive than traditional backpacking. Anytime anybody talks about ultralight backpacking, they think two things. One thing is they think that there's an enormous amount of ultralight backpackers out there, and that's really not the case. If you go to the Trek's website, I think ultralight thru hikers, the people that have the most reason to be backpacking that way, and by ultralight I mean 10 pounds or less base weight, period. The thru hikers, I think on the Appalachian Trail last survey I looked at, were less than 1%. It's an extreme minority. So the two things they think are, there's a lot of ultralight backpackers out there, and ultralight backpacking is incredibly expensive. So I wanted to dispute that today by reviewing my big three. And I actually had a conversation with a backpacker in Acadia over the summer. My family and I were out there riding bikes in the park, and a guy came up and rode alongside me and thought I was a local and explained I was actually from Pennsylvania, not Maine. But he had just gotten done with the northern half, the Appalachian Trail. So I jokingly said, I got to ask you the question I asked everybody, what was your base weight? And it was insane. He had like an 85-liter pack and just kept filling it. And I told him about me being an ultralight backpacker and just, not having that long of trips, just weekends or longer weekends. And he said he'd do it if it wasn't so expensive. So I broke down my big three with him, so that's what I'm going to do here. First one is the first pack I bought when I made the commitment to go ultralight, was the Gossamer Gear Kumo 36-liter pack. Nylon, I believe, or Robic material. No frame, just has this sit pad that fits in the back. Extremely flimsy. It's an ultralight backpack. On Gossamer Gear's website right now, it's actually on sale for about $130. Regular price of this is only $170 on their website through the manufacturer. Now, I did not if you're going to get other ultralight backpacks, since then I bought, this is actually too big for me in the summer, so I picked up a 26 or 27-liter Palante Joey, which is kind of like a running backpack, really, but I use it in the summers when it's nice and warm. And then I picked up a Darwin's Evolve Supply Co. Ranger backpack. That backpack is kind of like your typical ultralight backpack you'll get now. A roll top, some kind of Ultra or X-Pack material, big pocket on the back, nice big giant straps. That's a typical ultralight backpack now that a lot of manufacturers make, particularly the smaller ones. Those packs, you'll get I always tell people, those will cost you right around $250. They don't seem to vary too much unless you're getting something extreme custom with your own colors, materials. Red Paw Packs does some extreme custom packs, and even then the customizations don't cost that much. So ultralight backpacks are right around $250. I did not look into prices of traditional backpacks just because I know there's a lot of them. But that's for the backpack. Sleeping pads. My sleeping pad, let me get my other one here because I've got two. The more extreme one is the Gossamer Gear foam light pad that they sell. Because I'm a good ultralight backpacker, I cut mine down for that even. On Gossamer Gear's website, that's going to cost you around $22 for the the foam pad. And I see a lot of people buy these just for like sit pads or things like that, or additional insulation. I don't mind using this on the ground. I've done that and it feels great. The other option that I have here is the Therm-a-Rest Z-Lite. The old school one, this is my pad that's not been cut down. That will cost you around $45. So between these, $22, $45-ish. I've actually used this on a hardwood floor in a shelter, and I sleep great on it. The traditional pads, the inflatable pads, you're looking around, and these are the non-insulated ones, you're looking around $100 to $200. So at least twice as much as the ultralight options. And keeping on the sleeping theme, the one thing I think you're not going to get around cost-wise that's not going to differ too much between ultralight and traditional is the sleeping bags or quilts themselves. You just can't get around the cost of down. So to get a down quilt, I mean, there's down and then there's synthetic, and nothing beats down. And you're not going to get around the cost of that when you're talking ultralight versus traditional. So I've got a 0-degree bag. I like going out in the winter every now and then. I'm trying to do that more and more. I've got a 15-degree sleeping bag and a 30-degree quilt, all down. The only way around that really is if you, I think, keep an eye on a retail website that has sales every now and then. My 15-degree bag and 30-degree quilt are both Magmas from REI. I got the 30-degree quilt when it was on sale, and at the time I happened to be on Reddit and Reddit's ultralight page or a section, and found out that I think nearly every ultralight person on there had grabbed that quilt. So if you keep an eye on a retail site like REI, you can pick up that stuff for, I think in some cases, a lot less. $100, maybe hundreds of dollars less, depending on the time. Shelters. I have 2 shelters that I use now. This one I picked up because I was backpacking with 2 dogs. I'll probably be doing that again in the spring. So this is, I go floorless because I don't want my dog's claws chewing up the floor. This is a Mountain Smith, I believe it's Mountain LT shelter. So sets up with 2 trekking poles and looks like a tent from the outside with no floor. This alone with guy lines, no stakes, weighs about 2 pounds. And as you can see, it gets nice and small. Probably get a little smaller. This is a Z-Packs stuff sack. The real weight penalty comes, it takes about 13 stakes to stake this out completely. So I have the Vargo Shepherd's Hook titanium stakes. They work well on the ground. I use, but I thought my dogs would sleep better in an enclosed, completely enclosed shelter instead of just a tarp. I'm not sure they do. So I did take the one dog out with me using this little thing. This is an REI tarp that they don't sell anymore. I think I got it on closeout. Oh, by the way, the Mountain Smith, I grabbed it from a retailer for $74. On their website, it's about $145 right now. That's on their website's that price, so retail might be cheaper. The REI tarp I got is about 9 by 9. Without the guy lines, or maybe with them, it's right around 12 ounces, so pretty darn light. I've taken this out a few times already, set it up a couple different ways. Really like the ways I can set up a tarp. Took it out for one dog, and he slept, I think, okay in it, so I may do that again with the dogs. But again, it's just so small. I love how small it packs. And again, this is another Z-Pack stuff sack. It gets way down there. This, when I bought it, was $125. And that was the tarp guy lines and I believe some stakes, but I usually just use the Vargo Shepherd's Hook stakes I take with it. And the stakes I take with this is about half as many as the Mountain Smith, so right around 7 or 8 with it. And you can set up with a single trekking pole, so you can save a little weight with that. So there's the big 3. And the other savings I get is that I did go Stoveless. So I don't carry a stove anymore. Last time I carried a stove, I took some, I had some dehydrated meals laying around. I took those, loved them, thought they were delicious, but I hated having to clean up all the slop from it. And I will eat, I'm not a picky eater, so I go stoveless. So I'm saving costs there with the stove, the pot, the spoon, the dehydrated meals if you do that. So there's a cost savings there. And the other thing with Ultralight being less expensive, you just don't take a lot of stuff. And it's not a question of enduring discomfort for me. And this is a whole nother discussion about your comfort level. There are people out there that just, they need a lot of things to be comfortable. I, years ago, and sometimes I'll get into like all this weight equipment back here. I got away from needing so much and wanted to be able to be happy with very little, because I thought that gives me more freedom. And that's kind of like where I'm at with ultralight backpacking. That's a discussion for a whole other video. But like I said, with ultralight backpacking is a lot less expensive than traditional backpacking. There's less stuff. The stuff you do get is not as expensive. Again, unless you get, and I told this to the guy on the bike trail, unless you get DCF everything, pack, shelter, then it's going to jack your price way up. I think Hyperlight backpacks run well over $300. You know, so the $300, there you go. That's my shelter and backpack combined. With what you're going to get in a single backpack with Hyperlight. So there's a cost breakdown for you. Hopefully this helps you get over the hump with Ultralight and the myth that it is so expensive. Have a good one.